fall in this category. I'm sorry. When fans enter a season, do you want them to be unrealistically excited about their team? Do you want them to be, well, man, we're going to lose?
But isn't that
or
what
do you
fans
want it to be
do?
realistic?
Fan is short for fanatical, right? Fanatic. Isn't that what fans do? They root with blind faith. They have faith in their team. That's what faith is. I have a belief, even if it's delusional to you. I believe that we can win.
You got to keep the faith, Billy Joel style. You got to put up your belief sign like you're Ted Lasso.
What Rich is saying is every year there's either a fan, group of fans, or an organization that is the most delusional. They're super loud and they're super proud about their team. And, oh, they're going to turn it around this year. They might go all the way. And you hear your buddy or the team or the GM talking on TV, and you're like, are they for real? Do they really believe this, or are they just saying the right things?
I'm not going to really pick on Danny because there's a team I'm calling out in the NFL.
Oh, because you were talking about the Raiders, but I think I've been pretty realistic.
Mildly.
Mildly. Well, what did I say last season? USA Today had them at 3 wins.
And that was embarrassing.
And I said, no, it's going to be more like 8.
Yeah, I
They
remember.
finished 8-9, so I was realistic.
I'm rooting for them for your sake, but I don't think they're a playoff team. So we're like, well, maybe the Raiders. It's like me with the Mets. I get delusional, and I'll admit it. There are times where I'm like, just got to make the postseason, and, they got Lindor and Alonso and Nimmo, and I
But
get
is there
that.
a fan base that's the most delusional where it's like, all right, dude, you're the fan who cried Super Bowl every year. You know what? That's immediately Danny G who comes to mind because you know why? The fans are the loudest and most obnoxious. And they're always good, but they always fall short, and the fans, I think, are just always with the belief of this is their year, and it never is.
I think Stephen A. with the cigar and the cowboy hat added $5 million to his contract just based on his leaning into the anti-cowboy vibe.
I think that would be the number one universal answer, though.
I do feel like this is the one-off season where Cowboy fans have come down to earth. In fact,
yes.
Training camp in Oxnard, California, where we were this past weekend. Not empty, but
the footage I saw was empty.
Well,
dude.
on Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, they had their biggest attendance. But then the following day, Sunday's usually packed, crowded, and it wasn't. It was light. So they've been low on their attendance there. And the articles online are asking the question, is it because Cowboy fans are fed up with Jerry Jones not adding the ingredients they needed this offseason?
It's because everyone was at your party on Sunday. That's why.
Yeah, all the West Coast, all the West Coast Vatos were in Oxnard.
Yeah.
No, you know what? In fact, I thought that Donald Trump said that's a lie. The crowds were huge. No,
again, yeah, that could be. Like, did you see? Speaking of Donald Trump, it's actually a really funny picture. Like, there was a lot of photos. Like, look, no one even showed up to see Kid Rock perform. And photos like that show up, or look, no one showed up for Trump or anybody. But
sometimes it's soundtrack
it was
pictures. Soundcheck pictures.
That's exactly what it was. So the pictures that are floating out and are going viral about the Cowboys, maybe it is something we don't know. But from what I'm hearing, Rich, the fans are coming down to reality and they're trying to let it be known. Because every year they're like, we're going all the way. This is the year, man. This is it. So we ask you, keeping it real or keeping it real dumb, well, which fans, which organization are the most delusional, are the worst at this?
I'm calling them out.
Go ahead.
It's not the Cowboys. They have, quote, curbed their enthusiasm a little bit.
Maybe this year, dude. That's
good
maybe
season.
So far this year.
But I think Cowboy fans are like, yeah, we'll make the postseason. And if Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and I saw some ridiculous stat that outside of CeeDee Lamb, their second receiver has like less than 1,000 yards fewer than CeeDee Lamb. Like that team operates on Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Like you got to hope they're healthy. Maybe they're one of those fall off the playoff radar team. So you're right. I think the fans aren't obnoxious this year.
In the same breath, you know what you're saying too, though. You're saying that they have passionate fans that always believe. So on the flip side of this, you could say they're delusional, or you could say they're really passionate, and good for them.
That's a thin line. I love it.
There's a good fan base
like
there that supports their team.
There's a thin line between like, I love your enthusiasm versus reality. Like we all have that like ugly friend that's like, yeah, tonight we're gonna get some girls, and you're like, you're never getting girls. But I like your enthusiasm.
But I like your confidence.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna slay it tonight. We're gonna meet some hotties, and no, you're not. You're gonna end up by yourself at your home, with the door locked.
It's really rude, Rich, but I understand what you mean.
I want to call out a fan base, and it's a big fan base, so my apologies to the Chicago Bears. I get it. Vegas,
Is that this year's number one
Vegas
answer?
has you at 8.5 wins. Vegas pretty much has you as you're a 500 team. You can't go 8.5 and 8.5, but
It's all Caleb Williams. It's all the Caleb Williams hype.
But we're talking about Vegas has them exactly at 500, where if you have to pick over-under, you're picking, are they slightly better or worse than 500? And I get it.
The fans are super pumped. That's really what it comes down to. But are they delusional?
They really tweaked that team.
Besides Williams, they had a great draft.
They had a great draft. They acquired some big names. The GM and coach, it's sort of their team now, what they're putting together. But you got to remember, I'm going to name a bunch of people who are pretty awesome that had awful first seasons. Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre. I saw this Adam Vinatieri, his terrible first-year kicking. Ended up being one of the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Young is a Buccaneer. Terry Bradshaw, awful his first year. And right now, the Bears are plus 4,000 in Vegas to win the Super Bowl. For the non-gambler, that's bet 100, win $4,000. There's just belief that C.J. Stroud is the savior, and you're forgetting that division.
In every fan's defense and every organization's defense, one of these years is the year they turn it around. Right? So that's what you're really hoping for. And that's the beauty of the offseason. It's like, yo, this could be the year. Clean slate. Let's go.
I'm rooting for him, but C.J. Stroud was the outlier last year. You know what's more likely? Bryce Young.
You're right, though. The loudest and most passionate off-season fans, you could say delusional, you could say when keeping it real goes wrong, is the Bears.
And while I'm, busting their chops a little, I will say it's a great football city, great stadium, legendary team. So it is a cool sentiment to think football's probably better when the Bears are good,
And
right?
by the way, Rich, have you seen the White Sox?
And
maybe it's just like our baseball team stinks so bad, we might as well just dive full force into football.
Cubbies are on the outside looking in. The Bulls ain't blowing up anyone's skirt.
Yeah,
so
maybe it's a matter of that, too. It's like a perfect storm of, we need something.
And you know what? I'm rooting for it to be competitive. But
by the way, who's really the sausage king? Is it Abe Froman or Frank Thomas? Because he's always talking about how the ladies love it, too. Anybody know? Let me know.
I heard it was Andre Dawson.
The real sausage
Hey,
king.
he comes out of the ivy, and he's like, it's me. I want to hear for some Bears fans. 877-99 on Fox. Chime in because I'm not rooting against you. Let it be clear. I'm just saying, keep it real. Because
Rich is really saying, though, it's very condescending. Because they do have a belief that this could be it.
Am I pretty much
you're
being like,
saying,
relax?
You're saying, really now? You really think? Do you really think the Bears are going all the way?
Well,
be realistic.
Look at the division, buddy boy. Jordan Love just got, his sick contract. That team in the second half of the season was as hot as anyone. They were like a mistake away from beating the 49ers in Santa Clara. They beat the Lions. They almost, They just had a great run at the end of the year. I'm confusing them.
Division is stacked, though.
But then you look and you say, well, then there's the Lions who were beating the 49ers 24-7 at halftime.
There's high hopes for the Green Bay Packers. You might want to throw the Packers into this conversation too, Rich.
There,
a lot of hype, a lot of expectations, a lot of excitement.
Danny G, you think they're going to use your former player Josh Jacobs effectively in the Green Bay?
Until he gets hurt.
You could say the NFC North in itself could be the biggest culprits of, all right, guys, keep it real.
Maybe they beat each other up and they're all like 10-7, 9-8, 8-9, 7-10. Because then you're saying
that might be the most delusional division.
Is Minnesota then the bottom feeder? Because there's people that say, well, not so fast, man. Justin Jefferson healthy.
We got some quarterback question marks, right? So
Sam Darnold may be that guy that shows, he's got the juice with a team and a coach, right? J.J. McCarthy in the wings. I don't know.
What says you, Fox Sports Radio Nation? We gave you our answers. Who are the most delusional fans this offseason so far? The Cowboys of the Cowboys fans of 2024.
Can I give you a quick little rundown of maybe the first 6 weeks of the Bears schedule, and
who has the high hopes and seems to be the most delusional?
Here's where like I don't even like my own conversation, even though we're having fun. We haven't seen Caleb Williams take a snap. Caleb Williams didn't take a snap in the NFL.
That
yet.
applies to you, but it also applies to people who are thinking
High
that
hopes.
Going all the way.
Yeah.
You haven't seen anything.
So let's take a look at the regular season. Let's just do weeks 1 through 6, which is a third of the year essentially.
Okay.
They're playing at home against the Titans. Week 1, the Bears are already the line's already out. They're 4.5-point favorites. So want to give the Bears opening game
1-0
debut 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to Houston and they play C.J. Stroud and that team in Texas.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll say 1-1.
Okay.
Why not?
Then they go to Indy to play Anthony Richardson, totally healthy with a pretty decent team around them, a great running back.
Healthy Richardson, that's away again.
Yeah, on the road.
Man, I don't know. What do you think about that one?
Let's give it to him.
All right,
2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
Really? I would take the Colts in that game.
Okay, well, but I'm saying, see, I'm even being generous, right? Now you go back to Chicago, but you play the Rams, Matthew Stafford, and a team that made the postseason last year. You want to just call it 2-2 after those 4 games?
That again, being generous.
So 2-2. Then they play the Panthers. Sorry, Big Mike. Hey.
Who?
3-2.
Big Mike, he was wearing Panthers slides over the weekend. Remember?
3-2, and then you go to London where they have to travel. Where I know this might not be a big deal to you, but Trevor Lawrence has done it a few times already. Jacksonville seems to be always in London. They play the Jags. That could be an L. I think they're a 500 team.
I mean,
and that might even be generous.
A 500 team, if you want to be generous there. Yeah, that's tough. Those are all pretty evenly matched, tough games for the Bears.
And again, I'm projecting a schedule without seeing Caleb Williams take a snap in the National Football League. But even if you keep going 2 games by 2 games, they're all splits. Let's just keep going for fun.
And what we're saying is, it seems like the fans are the most passionate this offseason, super hyped, as they should be. It's a new start. It's a new chapter. I get it. But again, that's what poses the question. Which fans are the most delusional? Are you keeping it real?
I know, Danny, you're high on the Commanders this year.
Yeah, big time. I love Jaden Daniels and their new leadership and their new head coach.
Dan Quinn?
Yes, sir, and their new ownership.
So they go to Washington. You're gonna throw an L there. But then they go to Arizona. I'll give them a W. Now they're 4-4. They play the Patriots, 5-4. They play the Packers, 5-5. This team reeks of 500 football. Unless
Caleb Williams is everything you think he's supposed to be in the NFL in his first season.
What if every Bears fan just falls in love and it's like, Dreamweaver?
You know what they need to do? You know what they need to do? And they're probably a banana peel away from doing it. They need to do a new Super Bowl shuffle. Because you know what happens when you do that.
Oh,
You win.
my name is Caleb.
No,
I got
think
the
about
ball.
it. You know, take yourself back to 85, though, right? You know how confident you got to be to just make a Super Bowl shuffle and then win the Super Bowl? Like, you got to really believe in your team. If they're that confident.
I don't think that trick works.
If they're that confident, they got to come out with a new saxophone player, a whole new getup.
39 seasons later. Hey, maybe next year, maybe on the 40-year anniversary, they'll bring out Jim McMahon with his shades.
Well, you know, based on the hype, you would think that's coming next. My prediction? Oh, you're going to see it.
And the craziest part, could I give you guys the craziest part of the NFC North?
We ain't here to start no trouble.
We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Come on.
Yo, but by the way, take it back on a Tuesday. I wasn't a Chicago Bears fan, but I thought that song was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I really did.
Almost as cool as the 86 Mets year. The 86
The
Mets
Super Bowl shuffle.
We got
was,
the teamwork
Danny G,
to make
did
the
you-
dream work.
All the
think it was cool or corny?
copycatters, the Super Bowl shuffle,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was
What I
the
thought was
coolest.
corny, even as a little kid, was all the copycat teams doing it.
Yes, I thought it was so cool. I really did.
They-
And to think that team was full of legends and they went all the way. That's pretty awesome, man. That's confidence.
I saw Howie Long trying to rap in an L.A. Raiders version of it. And I'm like, dude, why?
That's when
Howie?
everyone rapped like Fred Flintstone.
Yes.
I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way. He loves Fruity Pebbles. My name is.
Stop it.
His name is Barney and is here to say.
I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way.
No, God, please.
So if you're that confident, Chicago, where's the song? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, let me hit you with this real quick, and then we'll make like your favorite slugger and move on.
Okay.
That NFC North battles at the end of the year, because you heard me give you the first like half of the year, and you only heard one division matchup.
Yeah.
The Bears are going to have this season in their own hands because they end the season against the Packers. 2 weeks before that, they play the Lions, the Vikings. 2 weeks before that, they play the Lions again. So they wrap up their season. The NFC North battles for the whole second half of the year. So your thoughts